Please be seated. Give me a nod if you know what a flash mob is. Okay, all right, we're about 50-50. A flash mob is a bit of performance art. It's a prearranged plan to gather in a specific public location for a performance, but the performance is secret to passers-by and bystanders. They don't know what's happening, so the performance seems very spontaneous. But all the performers are in on the thing. Now, the first one I saw was several years ago, and it was at Grand Central Station. This is on YouTube for those of you who travel in those 21st century circles. But the one at Grand Central was really fabulous, I thought. It was not so much a performance as the characters walking around Grand Central Station during rush hour just froze at a particular moment like statues. And all the people wandering around had no idea what was going on. And if you've ever been to Grand Central Station at rush hour, you know how bizarre it would be to see someone standing absolutely still. But the one I have in mind is probably a year or so old, and it took place in a food court at a mall. I can't think of a place more mundane, more normal, more depressing, frankly, than a food court in a mall. And in the midst of the hustle and bustle of a given day, you hear this lone voice pierce the drone, that sort of background hum of the food court. And you quickly recognize that it's someone beginning the Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah. And you watch as the passers-by are quickly caught up in the drama, and you see how they're sort of changed, everyone shocked and surprised and sort of filled with joy in the midst of this thing. It's really quite something. So when I received probably my 50th link to this thing, I decided to watch it, and that's what I'm sharing with you. But I noticed that 22.5 million people have watched this thing. 22.5 million people. So it makes me wonder, what is it about the video, this little bit of performance art in the midst of the mall? What is it that captures the attention of us? What is it that makes us stop and watch? What is it about it that moves us? Now, it might be that it's something sacred happening in the midst of normal life. It might be that it's something sacred. It's sacred music being performed in the midst of the temple of commercialism, right? The mall. But I think it's not that complex. I think when we ascribe too much thought to it, we miss what's really happening. I think it's about something extraordinary and something unusual happening in an unexpected place. I think it's about something extraordinary breaking in the midst of the typical, the mundane. What could be more mundane, again, than the food court? But the voices change the space. The actors lift the spirits. And something very normal is somehow changed into something a little more special, a little more holy. And I think in many ways that's what this night is about. It's about a sleepy, lost world, stuck in routine patterns that yield the usual results. It's about a world grown weary, sleepy, with little hope of something new. It's about a world going through the motions of day-to-day life, expecting no more than that. But what happens? Shepherds at work are privy to an angel choir. A mother hears from God's favorite messenger. It's about birth in the usual way, even maybe in the most earthy of places. But this birth bears the promise of something more, something extraordinary, something that will change the world forever. The whole tableau is brought together through the love of God, the hope of Israel, and the responsiveness of a handful of people that are willing to move in God's direction as God offers the invitation. Mary says yes. Joseph has a kind of sensitive appreciation of covenant faithfulness. Shepherds are roused by the angelic invitation. Magi come from far away to see what was told them. I think God had God's own flash mob this night, ages ago. And we gather this night to mark the first, but to do more than that, to enact it again, to wake a world that is sleepy and lost, lonely and weighed down, not fully engaging hope and possibility. The hope and possibility that God offers us in something new, extraordinary, that appears absolutely mundane. So this night, as we reflect on God's first flash mob, as it were, I hope we're transformed into one now, not in this moment exclusively, but in all the moments of our lives, where we carry that message of extraordinary hope and extraordinary life out into the world with us, that everyone we encounter might engage hope and something new through the story that we know and have to share. Cling to the story of hope. But remember, you're given it for a purpose. To take it into your lives, to allow it to transform your lives, and to transform the world out there.